The father-in-law never imagined in his wildest dreams that asking his future son-in-law for $200,000 bride price would lead to being dragged into a full-blown bank robbery. The man originally worked at the Meteorological Bureau, but that day, the director approached him, saying a top-secret mission had been assigned by higher authorities. He was to stage a simulated bank robbery with his partner to test security system vulnerabilities. If he could successfully take the money and escape, he would receive a reward of $1 million. The next day, the man launched his heist plan, but just as he left the house, his father-in-law blocked his way, insisting he hand over the $200,000 bride price immediately, no matter how he explained. The father-in-law assumed he was making excuses, left with no choice. The man said he'd take him to the bank to get the cash. When he arrived at the scene, his partner was shocked to see him bring the old man, but the man said nothing, simply pulled out masks and handed one to his partner, then drew his weapon. Everyone inside the bank screamed and ducked in terror. All of this was clearly visible to the leaders monitoring the operation remotely. In fact, they had intentionally chosen two useless men for the mission, believing they'd quickly be stopped by the system. Meanwhile, special forces had already surrounded the building. News crews were broadcasting the entire event live. Back inside, the man pointed his gun at a female teller, demanding the vault key, but was told the key was with the manager. The remote leadership team believed he was stuck, until the man pulled out a stick of gum, pressed it on the four corners of the vault door, then began inputting code on a nearby terminal. Within moments, sparks flew from the vault lock. The leaders were stunned, and quickly dispatched their top detective to the scene. At this point, the terrified father-in-law begged the man to let him go, but the man simply hung two grenades around his neck. The detective arrived shortly after, activated the Sky Eye system, and immediately identified the man. He called the man, urging him to surrender, but the man ignored him. Seeing his identity exposed, he removed his mask, then dragged his father-in-law into the vault, telling him to grab the money himself. But the old man sneered, saying just the sight of money made him sick. Left with no choice, the man started bagging the cash himself. After securing the money, he instructed his partner to plant explosives at the front door. The detective, watching this unfold via surveillance, was certain he was about to make an arrest, but before he could act, the man called him, and to his surprise, said he was willing to come out on one condition. He demanded 10 cars be brought to the front, all with windows completely covered. The detective agreed, but requested the exchange of 2 hostages. The man announced inside that 2 hostages would be released in exchange for letting a live TV host enter for an exclusive interview. Hearing this, the hostages all raised their hands, desperate to get out. A wealthy-looking man stood up and said he had money, but hearing that, the man's partner immediately aimed his gun at him, saying he hated rich people the most. Eventually, 2 hostages were selected and released. The man then called the detective again, insisting the female news anchor enter with a camera, claiming he had a major revelation to expose. Worried for the anchor's safety, the detective hesitated, but the anchor agreed to go in, sensing the man had